Welcome back to the wonderful world of mushrooms. I'm your host, Fun Guy Pat, and I'm going to show you how to cook a mushroom. Much love. Today, we are going to do a very basic video on how to cook oyster mushrooms. So everybody walks into the shop and they're like, the mushrooms are so pretty, but I don't know how to cook them. So today, we're gonna show you how to saute oyster mushrooms. Super simple. I have multiple different varieties here. I have king blue oyster, I have Italian oyster, I have gray oyster, I have gold oyster. We're gonna mix them all up. The only thing that's really different with oysters, in my opinion, slight little different variances on the flavor, but it's more texture. The king blues are nice and soft and meaty. The golds are very thin and fragile. The grays are kind of just like your standard base model, and the Italians are super tender top to bottom. So we're gonna mix them all up. We're gonna throw them in a pan. It's super simple. You really can't mess this up. There is not much room for error. And we're back. All right, so you don't need a lot. Mushrooms, knife, a little piece of garlic if you want, salt, pepper, pan, that's it. So what I like to do is take the mushrooms and just kind of tear them apart. You can definitely cut them if you want, but I like to just kind of tear them. Throw them in the pan, cut them up however you want them, big, small. The more that you cut them up, the more that you rip them up and get them into smaller pieces, the easier it is for them to release their moisture and the quicker they will cook. I like to try and get them as consistent as possible. Some of these ones here, these clusters, you can see on the bottom, there's a little bit of the substrate there. So you just want to cut that off. And a lot of these small oysters, I just throw them in just like this. Some of the bigger oysters, like I would consider that one a little bit bigger, the stems get a little bit tough, they get a little bit woody down at the bottom. All you have to do, slice them right in half. That's it. Super simple. Some of these bigger ones, all you have to do, slice them right down the middle, just like that, just so you can open up the stem. So the heat gets in there and it breaks down the fibers of the stem and everything gets super tender. The small ones, like I said, like these little baby oysters, you don't have to worry about doing that. Just throw them in the pool. Some of the really small ones, like I'll show you on this one. Some of the really small ones like this, I'll try and match them up and put little Fun Guy friends together, and they'll go in the pool together and eventually end up in your belly together. So try and keep them around all the same size, but they're all gonna cook and they're all gonna be happy. Italians are my favorite. Actually, I don't want to say my favorite because I feel like the other ones are listening, but one of my favorite oysters, just because they are super tender top to bottom. They don't have the woodiness that the blue oyster and the gray oyster have once you get down to the base of the stem. Even the base of the stem on the Italian oysters is super tender. Got them all in there. It looks like a lot of mushrooms, but it's going to cook down. And now I just put a little bit of water down at the bottom. This will help to prevent them from sticking to the bottom of the pan. It's also going to sweat them a little bit, so they're gonna start to release their water content. And then they're gonna be swimming around in a little pool of mushroom goodness, like a little mushroom broth bath. They're gonna swim around in that for a little bit. That water is gonna naturally evaporate out over around 10 minutes or so. I like to push down on the mushrooms while they're cooking just to get any extra moisture out of the stem. And then once there's no more water droplets in the pan, then you can add the butter or the oil. That'll help to brown them up and crisp them up. Put it on medium-high heat. Mine goes from low to high being around 10. I have it set at an 8. We're just gonna let them go. I cook them roughly, I'm gonna go with 27 minutes. It's just a random number, but I feel like that's what the universe is telling me. 27, so it's 2:17. For all you single ladies out there that ever wanted to just bring home a Fun Guy, now's your chance. Bring home multiple Fun Guys, throw them in a pan, cook them, eat them, put them in your mouth. Just don't bite the stem. Depending on how fresh the mushrooms are, depending on how fresh they are, you'll see how much water starts to come out of the mushroom. Even if they're a week old, you can still cook them using this method. Just add a little bit more water in the beginning. But the water just, again, prevents them from sticking. And then just kind of move them around a little bit. You'll see they'll soften up after a few minutes. And then you can, once the water's gone, add the butter, the oil, whatever you want to cook with. Hey, want to see a mushroom? Come on. Want to see a Fun Guy?
What the hell?
Look, everybody. A fungi went on a date. My jokes are tapped out. You're welcome. Move them around. Make sure they don't stick. Put some loving into them. You can see they're starting to soften up a little bit. While they're cooking, if you want, you can get a mushroom facial. Okay, they are getting soft. It's been 8 minutes. 8 minutes, 27. Do you think we're gonna hit 27 minutes? Once they soften up like this, I mean, you can season them now or you can season them later. I don't know. I'll season them later. Okay, come here. I wanna show you something. Come here. Come here. Come here. Look, come here. Get closer. Come here. Look. They're looking pretty dry down there. No water, but wash. Push on them. Get all that extra water out. Once you get all that water out of the mushroom, you're gonna get the nice meatiness of the mushroom that's left behind. And if you can, try and get a spatula that doesn't do this. It has character. All right, you can see they're starting to get some color and they're starting to stick to the bottom of the pan. So they need butter. Butter. Butter, people. I use butter. You can use oil, you can use whatever you want. I don't really care. Just put something in there that's gonna make the mushrooms not stick to the bottom of the pan. I like butter because they're special mushrooms and I think butter is special. And I use a plant butter because I don't eat aminals. Sometimes I do butter and oil. And when you add the butter, add some salt and pepper. It's a good time to season. If you want to do onions or peppers, now is the time to do it when you add the butter or the oil. So I'm just doing pink salt, cracked pepper, season them well. Oyster mushrooms are very mild, so they don't have a very strong mushroom flavor like portobellos would have, but they are looking good. I'm gonna turn the temperature down just a smidgen. So it's been on 8. You can definitely keep it like that, but I like to drop it down to about a 5 and just kind of let them go a little bit longer at a lower temp. That way they don't get burnt and they can cook through a little bit more. Now, if you like rubbery mushrooms, some people like that watery, rubbery bite to a mushroom, just disregard this whole video and go watch something else. That's not how I cook my mushrooms, so sorry. I like to get all the water out so you get the nice meatiness of the mushroom, so you get the nice luxurious mouth mushy feel without all the watery bite to it, if that makes any sense. You'll know. If you bite a mushroom and it's like a gusher in your mouth, well, you get it. There is not much room for error on this recipe. It is pretty foolproof. And in other news, you can't spell spatula without Pat. Hi, I'm Pat. These are looking pretty good, people. It's been 15 minutes. So I'm gonna push on them a little bit more. Come here. I'm gonna push on them a little bit more. You can see they still got a little water in some of them, but they're looking pretty good. We got some nice color on them. I think I'm gonna call it. I was way off. It's not 27 minutes. Maybe I just thought it took longer because I was always cooking when I'm hungry and I was impatient. And you can't spell impatience without Pat. That's 2 for you people. Spatula and patience. Put it in the register. Close it. Shop's done. Cash out. Peace. Much love. All right, I'm calling it. These guys are done. So precisely 16 minutes. And then what I like to do is kind of just let them sit for a little bit. Kind of like a steak. Let them relax, let them cool off a little bit, take them off the heat, say a little mushroom prayer, light some candles, you know, do something romantic, because guess what, people? You just cooked the fun guy. And now you get to eat them. Oh, we're gonna plate them. I'm gonna put them on a plate and make them look fancy. And then you can eat them. That's what we do here. Mushrooms on a cutting board. I never added the garlic. No! Garlic is clearly optional, especially if you forget it. But the good thing about cooking with mush love is you can always use your imagination. Welcome back. Mushrooms, they're done. Look at them. Don't they look fabulous? You guys have heard of salt bae? Meat? I missed. Beautiful. Just gonna fix that real quick. Nobody saw anything. Everything is fine. It's gonna look good. Just get some greens on the mushrooms. Bam, done. Now you got some color in there. That's it. Look, we made mushrooms. Look at this. You can't go wrong. Look at this. Just look, look. Look at how beautiful. Hello, my little mushroom friends. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Oyster mushroomy goodness. The most simple way to introduce yourself to the oyster mushroom, just throw it in a pan with some salt and pepper and optional garlic. Done. Boom. Beautiful. Let's eat. Can we eat this? Can I eat it? Do you want to eat it? I'm going to eat that. I know what you're thinking. What the fork is going on? Yes. Look at that bite. That's a bite for a man. Oh my God. How is this so good? This is... And that was probably like an $8 bite of mushrooms too. They're tender, they're not chewy at all the water's out. You get the nice meatiness of the mushroom. It makes you want to dance. It's just salt and pepper. I'm going in! It's so good.
Alright, cut. You cut that video.
Make sure to like and subscribe for more content.